I think we need to address the elephant in the room. This is the best Forza Motorsport update. Correction. This might be the best Forza update ever. Fujimi Kaido is officially back, and you might think that's the big news for this update. No. Fujimi Kaido is incredible, and the way the developers brought it back by rebuilding the circuit from the ground up, but keeping everything the same that we loved from it, but updating it to 2025 standards. So look at all of the foliage in the trees. The roads are glorious. Mount Fuji in the distance is breathtaking. Side note, the developers actually went out to Japan to capture images, scan real-life buildings and everything to actually put into the game. Don't get me wrong, Fujimi Kaido is great and all, but that's not even the coolest thing in this update. One car in particular has stolen the show. Oh my god. If you don't know why this is so important, I'm gonna tell you a goddamn cool story today. It is officially time to check out the best update in Forza history. I think it would be a disservice if we didn't start with Fujimi. I completely forgot to mention this earlier, but as per usual, I have the patch notes for this update, and in today's video, we're gonna run through this, and I'm gonna show you everything important with this month's update. Spoiler alert, this is probably gonna be a pretty long video. In Forza Motorsport, we unfortunately only have two layouts. We've got the full circuit and we've got full circuit reverse. I know there's going to be people in the comments of this video saying, Nick, why is Fujimi Kaido so important? Why is everybody freaking out about this? Fujimi Kaido was the drift track back in Forza Motorsport 3 and 4. Some of people's best memories playing the original Forza Motorsports were driving around either doing toge battles or drift battles up and down Fujimi Kaido. That's sick. Unfortunately, when the developers made the shift from the Xbox 360 to the Xbox One, they didn't include Fujimi Kaido. They wanted to be more of like a sim racing game and focus on like real world racing circuits. And Fujimi Kaido wasn't included in any of the Xbox One games. All of that time, it was the most requested thing for the game. More than any car, more than any feature, people just wanted Fujimi back. And it's taken the developers since Forza Motorsport 4 to finally bring it back. And they've included it with this month's update. The way the developers made this circuit is so cool. So the road itself is the exact same road that we drove on in Forza Motorsport 3 and 4 back in the day. Obviously, like, some of the road markings have changed, have been updated over time, but the developers spent a ton of time on everything surrounding the track. So, like, look at all the foliage, the little bridges above the circuit. Crazy. Hold on. Mount Fuji! If you spend enough time searching around this map for all of the little details, you will find stuff that you never would have imagined before. But it's those little things that are so sick. I love this area from the old games. Man, and we've got a tunnel through here. Hello? Very nice. I want to drive an entire lap around this map because it is just breathtaking. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention the cherry blossoms. There's a lot of cherry blossoms on this map. Smash! Yo, look at the little rainbow in here. Oh my god, I'm dropping frames. These little details are straight up unreal. In the previous Forza Motorsport game, you could only drive this map in the daytime. In this version of Forza Motorsport, you've got rain, you've got nighttime, you've got thunderstorms, and everything in between. It is everything we asked for and some. Look at the Japanese temple up there. That's so cool. Look at that little temple. That's sick. I would like to apologize for my driving here, by the way. I am way too distracted by every thing around me. Back in the Forza 4 and Forza 3 days, people would do toge battles where they would start at the top of the mountain, usually using little MX-5s just like this one actually, and then have 1v1 battles, kind of like an Initial D, like a Fast and Furious, whatever, racing down the mountain. Do you see the gondola? Anyways, into the first couple of tunnels, here we go. We've got to do our best to send it through here. That's wild. Anyways, and then we finally get to the wide bit. Look at that through there. Oh my day. Did you see that? I'm not in a drift car, but I'm gonna rip the handbrake anyways. Oh, and the OG bridge. Beautiful. We're getting super close to the finish line now. Mount Fuji in the distance. Hey, and then there is our new pit lane. That is the only thing for this circuit that is actually changed. And in this one, you've got a ton of pit lane, obviously, and all of the little, like, Japanese shops. Look at the little K car in there. Dude, that's not a 10 out of 10, is it? I think that's a goddamn 11 out of 10. The only thing I can say about the circuit that I would like to see the developers improve is please give us the point-to-point. I think we do need to check out some of the new cars as well. I'm gonna let the car speak for itself. I know there's again gonna be people watching this video going, what the hell is this thing? Let me tell you the story of the Mazda Furai real quick. This is a one-of-one concept car that Mazda built in the mid-2000s. They basically took, like, I think it was the frame or the chassis of, like, one of their LMP cars, LMP2 car, I believe. Tossed in a 3-rotor engine into the thing that produced 450 horsepower, gave it this unbelievable bodywork with just these beautiful flowing lines. The brake lights are not brake lights. They are a work of art. The headlights are just unbelievable. The interior is something straight out of like a fighter jet. It looks so goddamn futuristic. This car was actually in Forza Motorsport 4, and it was one of people's favorite cars in that game. It was a super popular car. It was a real-life car, and Mazda made one of them, and only one of them ever existed. Existed is the key word in that sentence, because when this car went on its tour, it went to like all of these magazines, and then Top Gear got their hands on it for the Top Gear magazine. Had no relation with like Jeremy Clarkson and Hammond and May. The Top Gear magazine got their hands on it in 2013, 14, 15, something like that. They were racing it around the circuit and it caught fire. Unfortunately, the fire was in a bit of the engine that they couldn't see while it was driving around. So the fire got bigger and bigger and bigger, and nobody knew it was on fire until it was too late. Long story short, the Mazda Furai became very, very orange. The remnants, the body of that Mazda Furai is somewhere in Los Angeles, but it has never been showed to the public since it burnt down at the Top Gear test track all those years ago. Let's back out of here. I just want to see. I don't even want to do what customization it has. This is one of those cars I genuinely feel like it is wrong to modify. There are not many cars that fall into that category, but this one does. The 2-liter 3-rotor engine puts out 450 horsepower. We can get twin turbos on it to make it 800. I guess you could also swap the wheels out, but I don't know why you'd want to do that. You could give it drag racing tires if you wanted. You could make the tires a bit wider if you wanted. And you could also remove the restrictor. Whoa, that's a lot of horsepower with no restrictor and turbos. Chat, that's 1,000 horsepower. And it weighs 1,500 pounds. All right, fine. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. The lines are... Dude, the way it turns into the corner is disgusting. All this to say, the Mazda Furai is incredible, and I genuinely cannot believe that this thing is back. It is breathtaking, it is beautiful, and it is one of the rarest cars ever made. And the fact that it's back just blows my mind. I could spend this entire day driving around in the Mazda Furai, and I think, let's be honest, we'd all be okay with that. There are some other cars we do need to check out. Let's head over to the patch notes and I can show you all of the cars that are in this car pack. These are the cars that are in here. It's called the Racing Heroes car pack. It costs $5 if you're interested. It includes the brand new GT3 Ford Mustang, which is quite nice. It includes a Sylvia drift car, which we're definitely going to take out to Fujimi. And this thing. Can I just drive this because it's a really cool car and I think people don't know enough about it. Let me quickly tell you about De Tomaso because their story is wild. This guy De Tomaso made this car in, I guess, or made this company in like the 1960s or so. I've wanted one of these things in a Forza game for ages. If you go back and you watch my old wishlist videos from like Forza Motorsport, whatever, and Forza Horizon, whatever, I always said I wanted the Tomaso Pantera in the game. And we finally have one. So this car in Europe, it was sold by De Tomaso themselves. So you like had to call them up and order one and whatever. But if you wanted to buy one in America, guess where you had to go to buy one? To Lincoln Mercury dealers and buy one of these because Ford bought the exclusive rights to sell these cars in America. They actually stopped selling them like in the mid 70s or so, but people in America still wanted them and Ford, Lincoln, wasn't importing them anymore. So people did dodgy deals. It was like a legal gray area for cars that were imported after that. They're unbelievably cool cars. I really like these things. I just wanted to drive it because it's one of my favorite cars and it might be one of your favorite cars. If you give it a shot, I think you'll like it, okay? 2001 Silvia Spec R. We've got 1,000 horsepower on the dot. I've never driven around Fujimi in the night before. And the last time I drove around it backwards was probably 10 years ago. Been a little while. We'll see if I still remember my way. What a beautiful car. What a wild circuit too. Doing this in the pitch black with a car I've never driven before is certainly one of the things. This is where this update kind of falls short for me. It would have been really nice if the developers would have given us like those stages to basically start at the top of the mountain and just race our way down. If you want to actually do drifting down the mountain, you first need to drive all the way up the mountain, which is kind of really annoying. If you just want to have like a fun little casual drift sesh with your friends, you need to spend like 5 minutes driving all the way up this thing first. It just looks awesome though. The lighting out here is just beautiful. Dude, that's nasty. Scraping the bumper along the wall of the tunnel almost all the way through. Seeing Fujimi, or I should say not seeing Fujimi in the dead of night is a challenge that I didn't know I would be facing, but boy, that's cool. Let's go back to the patch notes, though. I do want to check out some of the other things because I've spent a lot of time on this DLC pack. Let's also talk about some of the free things coming in this month's update. So I need to talk about this because this is sick. A selection of music from Forza Motorsport 3, 4, 5, and 6 has been added to the game's playlist. That is so cool. There are new career events in Forza Motorsport this month. It's all a part of the Spirit of Forza Motorsport tour that's going on. Spirit of Forza Motorsport. Spirit of Forza Motorsport 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. They've got unique events on each one of these. They brought back all of the cover cars. So we've got the NSX. We've got the 350Z. There are also 2 new cars that are for free. The brand new Acura NSX Type S, the final edition NSX, and the Nismo Z. Sorry, are people gonna flame me in the comments because I don't call it Acura or Acura? What do people say? People are going to be offended by one or the other anyways. Anyways, if you complete all of those, then you can get the NSX and the Open Class Tour all the way down here. That's where you find the new Z Nismo Edition. In the showroom, these 3 new cars have been added. So the Sierra Lancer Evo Time Attack car, the Toyota Time Attack car, and the Supra Mark IV drift car. Sierra Lancer Evo Time Attack car. There's also the Formula Drift car, which is from Forza Horizon. I'm pretty sure this last car is all new. It's the Toyota Time Attack car from 1984. That one. Holy rear wing. What in the world? I've got to assume I won't need to press the brakes, right? Oh, yo, it actually feels kind of slow. This thing is actually terrifying to drive. Somebody's gonna need to correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like this thing has the most, like, this thing must have the biggest turbo. This is full gas right now. Waiting. Revs are building. Waiting. Turbo! Waiting. Turbo! So basically what you've got to do is drive around this car while redlining it basically the entire time. Otherwise, it is a bit slow. If you're anywhere less than 6,000 RPM, it's officially slow. It takes like 3 business days for the turbos to spin up on this thing. Chad, is this made? I've got to assume this is made by Hoonigan. I've never seen this car before. I know nothing about it, but I must say I love it immediately. Real talk, it's probably one of the... I can't even see where I'm going. The wing is so big. It's probably one of the sketchiest cars I've driven in Forza Motorsport. It's terrifying. It's also a bit disconcerting when the rear wing blocks your entire view of the track. All right, back to the patch notes. One of the other things that's going on, there's also new customization. We've added a Mugen body kit for the NSX-R with the roof scoop and everything. That's so sick. Do we have a Mugen rear wing for it too? Dude. Oh my days. Everything that it changes is crazy. I love how it actually gives us Mugen branding on the front there. Look at the gas cap on there. You wouldn't even be able to fill this thing up with fuel. Oh my. Dude, the exhaust is insane. Thank you, developer. We also, take a look at this. The developers updated the car audio in Forza Motorsport for all of the cover cars. They've all got brand new audio to go with like the fancy paint jobs that are being added in. They are also doing new custom racing suits. So like 20th anniversary ones. There's also some bug fixes that went on, which I'm sure fix something. The last car I want to try out, chat, is the new Ford Mustang GT3 car. If you're a fan of the new Mustang GTD, you will definitely like this. It's a 500 horsepower, 600 horsepower Mustang, depending on where they race, with all of the downforce. And long story short, it sort of kind of has the same body kit as the Mustang GTD, or I should say the Mustang GTD has the body kit from this thing. It is the latest and greatest from Ford, and I love this car. Now that we've checked out pretty much everything there is in this month's update, what do we think of it? Is it really the best Forza update of all time? In terms of just straight up new content and evergreen content that you can come back to and mess around with, and like from a content perspective, no, it's not the best update. But from a fan service, we appreciate the fans, we're doing this for the fans, this is without a doubt the best update we have ever had. The #1 most requested track, one of the most requested cars in the Mazda Furai, the absolutely beautiful De Tomaso, the GT3 Mustang for the IMSA people, and then all of the free cars like the Time Attack thing, not to mention the drift car that we've got in the car pack as well, and so on, like, and the new Acura. It is fan service through and through, and I love it. Well done, developers. Without a doubt, the best Forza update ever.